Top story for you now. The first 10 presidential candidates took stage at the Fox Theater in Detroit and Michigan last night for the first of 2 nights of the CNN presidential debates. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Governor Steve Bullock went head-to-head when it came to taking on nuclear weapons, off the table or not.
Get them out on the other end.
Thank you, Senator. Governor Bullock, your response to Senator Warren's proposal to the U.S. never use a nuclear weapon first?
I wouldn't want to take that off the table. I think America's strength, we have to be able to say that. Look, never, I hope, certainly in my term or anyone else, would we really even get close to pulling that trigger. But by the same token, America's strength, and look, this president's made America versus America alone. Our allies no longer trust us. Our adversaries are with us. But going from a position of strength, we should be negotiating down so there aren't nuclear weapons. But drawing those lines in the sand at this point, I wouldn't do.
Thank you, Governor. Senator Warren, your response?
Look, we don't expand trust around the world by saying, you know, we might be the first ones to use a nuclear weapon. That puts the entire world at risk and puts us at risk right in the middle of this. At a time when Donald Trump is pulling out of our nuclear negotiations, expanding the opportunities for nuclear proliferation around the world, has pulled us out of the deal in Iran, and Iran is now working on its nuclear weapon. The world gets closer and closer to nuclear warfare. We have to have an announced policy that is one the entire world can live with. We need to make that clear. We will respond if someone else does, but
Governor
not
Bullock,
first.
please respond.
Part I agree with. But by the same token, like, we need to get back to nuclear proliferation.
Why?
But when you have folks, proliferation, reducing them, but at the same time, when you actually have Korea, when you have others, I don't want to turn around and say, well, Detroit has to be gone before we would ever use that. When so many crazy folks are getting closer to having a nuclear weapon, I don't want them to think I could strike this country and I and we as the United States of America wouldn't do a thing. Part of the strength really is the ability
Governor
to
Bullock.
deter.
Governor, thank you very much. Moving on now. Moving on.
Now, it was pizza and politics for some voters watching the debate last night. MTN's Abby Crevitt attended the Democratic Presidential Watch at Columbo's Pizza in Bozeman to see how Montana voters were reacting.
About 30 people showed up to the Democratic Presidential Debate Watch Party on Tuesday night. The event was hosted by Forward Montana and Mont, which both promote young people engagement in politics. At the event, the crowd of mostly millennial-aged voters played debate bingo and had side conversations about candidate performances. The crowd looked particularly engaged when Montana Governor Steve Bullock took the debate stage for the first time.
It's always very exciting to see Montanans elevated to new leadership positions, and being highlighted nationally is really cool. But I would say it's even more exciting to see all the candidates this year really highlighting youth issues at the center of their campaigns.
Among the people at the debate watch party was Bozeman Representative Tom Woods.
It's interesting and I think important that we have our governor, vying for this position of president of the country. That is impressive.
Now, while there are some who are excited to see some Montana representation on a national stage, there are some who have their own concerns.
I'm disappointed in the governor that he's not taking care of the business in the state. He's kind of, in my mind, missing in action.
And it's not just the political opposition who have their concerns.
I think he would be a good president. This is a totally different game that he stepped into. I really wish that he would run for a position that served this state as well as he did governor.
In Bozeman, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
Now, another debate party will be held tonight at Columbo's Pizza in Bozeman for the round 2 of those debates.